If you want to stand out on LinkedIn, LinkedIn video is the best way to do it right now. You may have heard that LinkedIn video gets shared 5 times more than any other type of content.
Today we're joined by marketing consultant Nathaniel Bibby of Bibby Consulting Group. Nathaniel actually just won the best marketer on LinkedIn for the APAC region.
But I think the real value is in the relationship that you can build is so much deeper than other types of content. Would you agree? So we're going to go into the tactics, how you can use LinkedIn video to position yourself as an authority, grow leads, grow sales, grow followers, all of that stuff. So let's get into it. Why should you care about LinkedIn video? Well, if you're familiar with TikTok or Facebook or Instagram or even Snapchat, you'll understand that the transition to consuming short form content has been huge. They've all transitioned to these vertical style videos that are less than 2 or 3 minutes, ideally 1 minute, where people are just scrolling through videos. It's really pronounced on TikTok, and that's the trend. People want to consume short form content. Before this update, we were creating videos in square format. Now they all have to be vertical. So this is a huge opportunity. Why? Because it's new. There's not a lot of competition on there yet. It's coming, but it's not going to be for another 6 months or maybe a year if we're lucky. And not only that, the LinkedIn algorithm is prioritizing video and giving creators a push that are consistent on the platform. So let's take advantage of that. Just mention one more thing about LinkedIn before we move on. It's made up of decision makers. The guys on LinkedIn are there to do business. It's not like Facebook or Instagram where they're kind of there to hang out with their friends and family, and if you approach them about business, it's interrupting. It's actually appropriate on LinkedIn if you do it in the right way and don't just pitch slap everyone. You know who you are. So if you catch their eye on LinkedIn, you'll be way ahead of the competition. You can get massive organic reach. It's a professional audience with a high income bracket, and it's a great place to build authority. Before we dive into how to do it right, let's look at some of the biggest mistakes you want to avoid. Having a weak hook. You want a hook that grabs attention, and that's the statement that you say at the start of the video. So pay attention to the first 3 seconds and then pay attention to the first 10 seconds and just look at what you're saying to draw the viewer in. If you look at videos on YouTube like from Mr. Beast or any of the professional YouTubers, you'll notice they always have a strong hook at the start, because what happens is you might get all these views, but the retention graph actually drops as soon as the video starts. And so what the challenge actually is it's not too difficult to get the views up front. The challenge is to hold on to them. So you want to get people to watch the entire video. So what you say at the front matters. You want to tell people what the video is about. So if you could summarize what your video is about in 1 sentence, that could be a great hook for you. And you also want to create some curiosity. That's why you see a lot of videos with lists in them. The 4 ways to add value on LinkedIn, the 7 steps to financial freedom, so that you say that up front and then people are expecting the next step and the next step, and that's what keeps people engaged. So that's just one way to do it. Another big mistake is no subtitles. Now LinkedIn do automated captions in your video, so that is a little bit of a help. But what I've found is the videos that do best are the ones that actually have graphic subtitles burned into the actual video, so people don't have to fiddle around and press the caption button to read the caption. You know they're going to be accurate because you're the one that created them, or your video editor created them. And you can also do some fun things to make them entertaining. Keep in mind that about 80% of people are going to be watching your videos without the sound on, whether they're at work or they're on the subway, or maybe they just at a coffee shop and they don't want people to hear them watching a video, whatever. Perhaps they're laying next to their partner and don't want to wake them up. So if they're watching it with the sound off, if you don't have captions, you're doing a huge disservice. And it's another way to make it entertaining, because you can imagine if someone's watching with the sound off, they're following every caption and it's keeping them engaged. And so you can use it, if you use transitions well, it's a great way to maintain attention, if that makes sense. Have a look at some of the videos that you admire and the guys that you follow and see how they're doing it. Might help give you some ideas. Another mistake is poor quality. On LinkedIn, quality is important. Quality actually equals credibility. A lot of people think, oh, you can just do it with your phone. Look, it's fine if you're a creator, or let's say your audience isn't too professional. But look, if you're dealing with professional services or C-suite advisors or bigger companies, they're going to expect it be professional, and especially if you want to charge premium prices. So invest in quality filming and quality editing. Filming in a dark closet with a shaky cam just won't cut it. And you used to be able to get away with that, but these days, be professional if you want to transition into new opportunities for your business. There is a way that I can help you with that. We do batch creation for clients, and I've got a very cost-effective way you can create loads of videos, but I won't discuss that here. Hit me up if you want to know more about that. Another big mistake is ignoring your LinkedIn profile optimization. Look, with anything that you do on LinkedIn, whether it's sending messages or posting content, people are always going to look at your profile as the next step. And that's really where the conversion happens. People don't realize how many opportunities they're missing out on because their LinkedIn profile's not optimized. Make sure you've got a professional headshot. Make sure your headline is not some boring CEO at XYZ company. Tell people what you do. Make use of the cover photo. Make it professional. Build credibility. Make sure you complete your profile. Doesn't look professional otherwise. 40% of traffic on LinkedIn comes from Google searches. People are going to be looking at your profile if they're going to have a meeting with you, if you approach them, if you post videos. With anything you do, it doesn't matter if your video is amazing. Your profile is not good, you're not going to get conversions and not get leads. There's loads of people that get loads of views on their profile. There's very few that actually get a lot of leads coming through, but if you nail it, you do really well. Step 5, no clear call to action. So with every piece of content and your profile, you just want to have a very clear message on what people should do next. What I suggest doing is with your content, make it about engagement. So ask people a question, get them to comment, because people will actually go to your profile if they want to know more anyway. So that's where the conversion happens in terms of submit this form or download. It's probably the best way to do it in most instances. Viewers need direction, so tell them what to do next. That's one of the biggest factors in how well you get conversions or engagement, is just by asking people and telling people what to do next. Don't give them choices. Don't say, oh, comment below or like or follow or, but no, just tell them one thing. Keep it easy. Don't make them think. Don't make them think. That's a good one. First impressions matter. If you're filming in a podcast interview, or you're speaking from stage, or you're being interviewed, it makes a huge difference to your credibility. Think about it from the perspective of the person watching it. Whereas if you're just doing it on your own, the chances are you don't know much about lighting, you don't know much about scripting, and there's a lot of things that you haven't thought about. And these are all subconscious cues that you're giving to your potential prospects that you're unprofessional and don't know what you're doing. It's a lot easier for you to just invest in something professional, and if you have the opportunity to speak on stage or be on a podcast, make sure you film it. The amount of people that don't leverage video, it's crazy. So optimize your profile, treat your LinkedIn like a personal website. It's amazing how many people invest $20,000 or $10,000 in a website and then don't invest in their LinkedIn profile at all. If people are searching for your name and they end up on your LinkedIn profile, do you think they're at the start of the customer journey or further towards the bottom? So the customer journey, you've got awareness, need recognition, looking for solutions, making a decision, and then advocacy. So the idea is with the customer journey, it gets smaller. So the people actually that are further down the sales process, closer to buying. And these are the people that are searching your name because they're already aware of the problem, they're already aware of who you are. So you're actually losing people at a very crucial stage of the customer journey if your profile's not optimized. So sort it out, guys. And network with influential people. You want to build your community with influential people. So industry peers, collaborate, engage. What I suggest doing is something similar to what Russell Brunson suggested, is you have a Dream 100, which is 100 people that are in your industry that are already serving the clients that you want to serve, and they're doing it well on the particular platform you're on, in this case, LinkedIn. And 100's a lot. If you haven't done this before, you could start with 20. 20 is a lot too. Start with 20. Write down 20 people in your industry. They can be competitors. They don't have to necessarily be complementary service providers. And you want to start following them, turn the notification bell on, and look at what they're posting every day, because that's a good indication of what's working on the algorithm in real time. And then you want to actually engage with them as well. Add value. Find a way to add value. If you've got a podcast, invite them onto your platform. If you do videos, that's a great reason to have a regular show, is so that you can invite people like this, and then you can leverage their audience, because that's what you want to do. You want to leverage their audience, right? And you do that by adding value to them. So it's a win-win for everyone. And it's really important with video to stay consistent. Number one, testimonials, short, powerful social proof from clients that are done in a storytelling method is a great way for you to move people down the customer journey. Thought leadership and educational tips. We see a lot of these on LinkedIn. Focus on one idea per video so you can keep it about a minute long. A great way to come up with ideas is to think about what people ask you about the most. What are your frequently asked questions? Address one by one in one video. Very easy to create lots of videos. Podcast style interviews. That aligns you with industry leaders and elevates your authority. So they actually do really well. They found after doing some research that those podcast clips actually get about a 400% return on investment when you sponsor them. And that's because they're positioning people as an authority. And that's why you see all the big guys like Alex Hormozi and Gary Vee constantly posting podcast clips. Okay, idea number 4, behind the scenes videos or vlogs, what you guys are up to. If you share stories about what your company's doing, even if it's just a short video at your Christmas party, that momentum and the fact that you guys are doing things and you're sharing your journey, it attracts people into your community, if that makes sense. You can never really predict the exact benefits that are going to come from all of this LinkedIn activity you're doing. Quite often it'll be somebody that you gave a proposal to a year ago that sees the video and goes, oh, I should really get in touch with them. It is a social media site. I think a lot of people get this wrong. So it's not a sales conference. So you don't want to be posting and just getting people to buy your stuff all the time. That's not the goal. It's actually a cocktail party. It's a networking function. So you're just rocking up and making friends. Social media is for making friends. So you're building relationships. So don't just be pitch slapping everyone when you're creating content. You can have that stuff on your profile, but when you're out networking on people's posts and stuff, be engaging, add value, ask questions, act with curiosity. Let me tell you a quick story about how powerful LinkedIn video really is. A few months ago, I was at the airport, just minding my business, waiting to board a flight, and suddenly I heard someone yell out, "Hey, Nathaniel!" I turned around and this guy that I didn't recognize came up to me like we were old friends. So it turns out he's been watching my LinkedIn videos for months. He knew who I was, what I did, and even referenced specific posts which had quite personal stories from my life. Here's the crazy part. We'd never met before, but he felt like he's known me for a long time. That's the magic of video. It allows you to have relationships at scale, especially in the eyes of your prospects. They get to know you. And it builds trust at scale because when they do get in touch to do business with you, they already trust you. They're not speaking to 3 or 4 providers. They've got the relationship with you. It's like doing business with one of their mates. And guess what? That random airport encounter turned into business. And that's why I say, if you're not leveraging LinkedIn video, you're definitely leaving a lot of opportunity on the table. I have to mention planning and batch creation. If you want to churn out content efficiently and stay consistent, you're going to need to batch create content because you need a library of content to draw on so that you're not always thinking about what to post today. Because I'll tell you right now, if you do it that way, you're going to miss days, you won't be consistent, and the content won't be the same topics because you're not aligning with a plan. You're just doing videos as you think of them. So what you want to do is create at least 10 videos in one session when you're doing LinkedIn video. I know, but you get set up and you just churn them out. And then what you want to do is send them off to a video editor so they can get really nicely edited and have your branding and subtitles and B-roll and sound effects like this one and cool visuals like this one. And then your videos will look awesome, incredible, and it'll make people trust you and want to do business with you. Your content will do better, it'll get more engagement. That's how me and my team help clients, is we batch create videos with them, sometimes as much as 45 videos in a couple of hours of me interviewing them. So we position them as an authority and we chop that up into loads of 1 to 2 minute short videos that are really well designed to stop the scroll and capture attention, hold on to it and all that stuff. So if you are doing it yourself, here are some technical tips and editing advice that I can give you. Lighting and audio. So a microphone, a professional microphone can go a long way. A USB Rode mic like I've got are fantastic. They're great. There's lots of different options, but you don't have to spend a fortune. I think this might have been $300 or $400. And then you want a good light. So just maybe a ring light would be okay, just so that the light's coming from behind the camera rather than above your head, which is one of the worst places to have light coming from. If you have a window, you could face the window and then the light will be coming towards your face, if that makes sense. If you are filming on your phone, make sure it's vertical. Check out Opus Clip for your subtitles and just focus on the first line that you say, the hook and the call to action. If you do those things, those are the main editing tips really. So engagement and distribution. So creating the video is just the start. You need to write the caption, you need to know when to post. So optimize the caption, keep it short and compelling. You can use something similar to the video script. You want a strong hook and a call to action. Tag any relevant people, influencers or brands. That'll help with your engagement as well. Make sure you respond to every comment that you get because that'll help drive engagement and you get more eyeballs on your content if you do that, and do it relatively quickly. So it's a good idea to keep an eye on your content for the first few hours after you've posted. And you can always repurpose the videos on other platforms as well. In terms of when to post, if your audience is local, meaning your audience is in the city that you live in, generally I would post in the morning on a weekday. They say Tuesday to Thursdays are the best days. Look, I've found posts do well on Mondays and Fridays as well. On the weekend, they don't get as much attention. There is less competition, but yeah, there's not as many people on LinkedIn. So Monday, Tuesday morning is a good time to post your videos. Do 2 a week. So one on Tuesday, one on Thursday, for example. Do it in the morning so that people have got the whole day active on LinkedIn to engage with your content. Try to avoid doing it in the evening if your audience is local, because most people will be going to bed. So the first 6 or 7 hours that your post is live, it won't get any engagement because your audience is local, if that makes sense. I also have audiences in Europe and the US, so sometimes I do post at night. If you see me doing that, that's why, because I can cater for multiple audiences that way. Because the content's not necessarily going to stay in the feed after 12 hours unless it's getting engagement. There you have it, everything you need to know about crushing it with LinkedIn video. At the moment, like I said, you can get millions of views if you haven't got a big audience, so get onto it as soon as you can. Make it professional. Subtitles, optimize your profile, engage with every comment, get your lighting and everything set up correctly. And don't forget to hook your viewers at the start. That's all for today. If you like this, drop a comment below and let me know so I can create more content that's going to suit you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're around 18,000 subscribers at the moment. I'd love to see it bump up over 20,000. So I'm going to be posting once or twice a week minimum over the next few weeks. So let's get to 20,000 guys. Thanks for being here. See you in the next video.